So, guys, are you ready for tonight's section? And we have Melch with us. Melch is going to be sharing wealth of knowledge on how to build a Web3 portfolio, how to build a resume, reach out to projects, and of course, get to work with some of these amazing projects in the industry. And Melch has worked with several top projects, which I made mention earlier, and he's very experienced in what he do. He has a team, a great team, and his team has been smashing it for the past 3 years. So welcome once again, mate. So I think we can officially begin the section now. So welcome, Melch, to tonight's section. So on today's section, guys, we have Melch with us, and you guys get to learn from Melch himself. You guys get to learn about Web3 projects, how to build a portfolio Web3, how to create an amazing, outstanding resume in the Web3 ecosystem. Also, guys, that's all. Mel should be sharing some tips with you guys, tips which you guys can use to be able to thrive in this industry. It's a very competitive industry, and to stay at the top or to be relevant, you need to be able to effectively manage your skills, manage your projects, and also being able to know how to reach out to these projects and also build a much more sustainable community. And tonight, Mel is going to be giving us each and every of these details. Glad to have you on this section, Melch. So kindly introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your background before we dive into tonight's discussion.
Yeah, can you hear me okay, or is this not working anymore?
Can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, nice. All right. Looks like it's working, which means I can share my presentation today. So yeah, thank you guys for putting this together and asking me to be day 10 guest. When I was thinking about the points to share with everybody here, it surprised me. I was like, oh my gosh, Pope, I've known you forever now. We've been working together with Secret for so long, and I know many of the guys in this group too. So yeah, I'm excited to share my journey, and I think giving you guys the personal, how my path unfolded will be able to give you guys a lot of insights behind the scenes to maybe create something similar for yourself. I know that it's a rare thing to find. There's not a lot of people that have tried walking the path that we're all walking. So yeah, we'll give you guys some good actionable steps. Should I start sharing the slide, Pope, or do you want to go through anything else?
Yes, I can share the slide. We are anxiously waiting for you.
All right, let's jump in. Let me know if everybody can see this okay.
Can.
Cool. All right, we'll make it full screen there. Cool. Everything still working?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. So yeah, Pope, jump in and interrupt me at any time. I like how you guys have been doing the last 10 days and how these are organized. So feel free, interrupt me through any of this, ask any questions, or if a good one comes up in the chat and I can't see it, feel free to scream it out. But what I'll be covering is joining Web3 communities and giving you guys some guidance on networking and building a good resume so that you guys can build a kind of career or get involved at any level that you guys want to, right? Whether it's a small level and just enjoying the community and the space, or if you want to go as big as me and build an agency that does lead generation and cold calling for a bunch of crypto clients. So a little agenda, just so you guys know what we're in for. This is only about 15 slides, and I'll spend like 2 to 3 minutes on each, unless, feel free, like I said, stop me on any of them, and we can go into deeper detail. But we're going to cover first and foremost what's in it for all of you guys on this call today and why you should join these communities and get involved. I'll give you guys my story, how I did it and how I joined and now work in Web3 full-time and what I've done over the last 3 years. So you guys can see step by step what it really looked like, what it took, what kind of networking and guidance and resume building that got me here. We'll go through actually some resume tips and examples, the interview process and questions. I've done a bunch of these in the space, and it's a lot of fun because I consider myself one of the older guys in the space. So I have plenty of interviews that come from outside of Web3, and it's fun to compare the both. So can give you guys some insights on how they're different here. We'll do a quick workshop and a practical guidance with steps that you guys can actually take away. And we'll do some Q&A and then a community sign up at the end, which if anybody wants to jump right in, I know most of you guys are already pretty active here, but that's what we'll be covering today. So I tried making this like as visual and as many pictures as possible. I really, really liked the New Biz's presentation yesterday. If anybody was on that one, he did an awesome job scrolling through and showing you guys like really good examples of tweets. So mine will be a lot more through pictorial to kind of give you guys the whole story. So like what's in it for you guys? Why would you want to join these communities and how did you already get here? Right? The benefits are like you're working remote. Maybe not from a beach like the picture you see here on the left, but it makes a lot of it's very advantageous, right? You can work anywhere, get involved in many communities, and really find the one that speaks to you, that you want to help promote, like Secret Network, because privacy is important to us. That's how I found Pope and everybody, everybody here that I'm not friends with. Obviously you have crypto, you can get paid in almost any kind of coin, token, anything, or stable coin instantly. And even if you want to build out an agency like mine, you're able to pay your employees who are worldwide. My good friend Alex lives in Ireland, and he's the one that helps me with my lead gen. Thanks to crypto, that's all possible. On the right here, you can see Whispernote, who's actually one of the sponsors of this whole presentation. He got to meet him in person, known him for almost 3 years now, and we went to ETH Denver together. So you get to go to conferences, you get to meet these people that have been in the space longer than you, and we made good friends with another maker who's wearing the helmet you see next to him. We'll actually take a look at that tweet later. But you get to go to these conferences, you get to see things you wouldn't see, and thanks to joining these communities, they're going to help you get to these conferences, right? You're doing some good, valuable work for them. They want to give back, help you get to these conferences, and continue to help. I know I've worked a number of booths all over the U.S. for Secret Network. One of them was this ETH Denver with Whispernote, which is a lot of fun and something that you guys can get involved in. And then the bottom picture here is an online presentation we did for the University of Minnesota so that they can learn how to build private applications on Secret Network. Here, I'm able to hang out with 3 of the smartest devs and builders on Secret Network and present it to the incoming college university generation to see what's possible. And it's a really fun experience to be able to do something like that and get involved. We'll go deeper on that one because that's an actual funnel that we built, or that I built, and how I got involved very heavily with Secret Network. So these are all kind of cool ways, things you guys can take it as far as you want, but that's what's in it for you and why it's worth figuring out how do I take a good path, how do I build a good resume, and why is it worth networking in this space. So I think that, like I said before, the best way to give it to you guys is by telling you my story, right? How did I do it? If you guys are early in this process or a little farther, stick with me on each step and you may be able to take away a little tip or a little note from how I did it and add it to your own story and journey in the space. So I think most of us, right, we've all heard of the secret agents. If you've already joined, you know what it's like. I joined that about 3 years ago and I worked for free for 8 months. Just showed up every single day, showed up to all the weekly meetings, showed that I was reliable, that I could be trusted, and that my quality of work was a very high standard. That I wasn't just showing up every once in a while or doing, a tiny little work that wasn't very fruitful or helpful to Secret. It was all very meaningful. It was very, let's generate leads to get builders building on Secret Network. So I did that for 8 months for free, which sounds a little crazy now that I'm thinking about it. And I'm pretty sure my parents think I'm crazy for working for free for that long. But that's what it takes to build a reputation. And again, anybody can join this network right away. Many other layer ones have a similar ambassador program. So Secret Africa, you guys do an awesome job bringing people into the network and helping them get resources. I think Secret does a great job of really bolstering this kind of ambassador program to get involved. Some other chains have it. Look for those chains, ones that speak to you. If privacy and secret is the one, well, then they've got this available for you. This is how I started. But there are other chains and other communities out there that you can get started in the same way. The next step was, okay, we've been there for 8 months. We're working for free. I'm building a relationship with Brendan, or Whispernote, who at the time was leading the awareness committee. And a good next step for anybody here that's looking to get more involved is keep an eye on that community's forum and governance proposals. These are great ways to network because you're going to be able to see what are the people that are above you or people that have been there longer, what are they putting effort into? So we could see on this proposal, Whispernode was putting together an awareness committee, and he wanted on this last bullet point one or two other agent onboarders to help, right? And just reading that one line, because I'd worked with Whispernode for 8 months for free, I was able to reach out to him as a friend and say, hey, I see you're onboarding one or two more people. Can I put my resume and try to go for one of those positions if this proposal gets approved? And he said, yes, absolutely. We've seen, you show up all the time, you do good quality work, you're pleasant to work with, right? But you're having that reputation and putting it in allowed me to ask for that position, right? Or at least put my hat in the ring. So keep an eye out on any forum posts, government proposals that are requesting help. You can either get in there and ask if you've done the legwork before, or you may see that, oh man, Pope Black is putting out awesome work. I want him for this position. And so they'll go and reach out to you and say, hey, you'd be great for this position. But looking at forum posts and government gov proposals are a great way to see where you can get further involved and network even deeper. Once I got involved with Whispernode and was part of the awareness committee, that opened up a lot of doors. And doors that, you pretty much say yes to anything. At this phase, you're still saying yes to taking on anything that you can perform well at. Right? Don't take on something and that you think that you won't do very well at, because then it's going to hurt your networking abilities. But Secret was going down to Austin, and so I decided to work a booth for them. And at that time, I was still so new that I couldn't get resources to go from the awareness committee. We were still young and didn't have a lot of resources. So I paid for myself to get down to Texas and work this booth at Decentral for the whole weekend. But I knew it was a good opportunity because, Whispernode was going to be there, Tor, the whole committee, everybody was going to be there. And they were a keynote speaker, one of the biggest tier 1 sponsors of that event. So I was going to be able to meet everybody in person. So all these people I've been working with for about a year, I can now meet them in person. And that really went a far way. I think all of us know in this digital space, you can make great friendships. But once you meet somebody in person, it solidifies it so much more, right? I think Patrick's in this picture. He's been one of the longest, biggest standing people in the Secret Foundation. And he was the first guy that I met in person at a Whataburger that was right next to the event. And just meeting him, it was almost like we had known each other. We had been friends for years, even though it was the first time. So, if you find any events, I know Secret Africa, you guys do a lot of events in person and virtual. Get involved in those, and you're going to find networking gets a lot easier and more doors open up to you. The next step that I took was taking any of my skill set that I had and using my free time to help out other applications that were built on Secret. Right at this time, my network is still heavy Secret, so I really only knew that ecosystem, but there were a lot of new dApps that were popping up. And one of them was Shade Protocol, right? The DeFi application. They had just opened their Discord and there was just nothing in there. I think it was open for about 9 minutes. They put out the first announcement and I popped in there. So I think I was the 9th person period to be in that Discord outside of the core team. And I asked them if I could just build their Discord, right? No expectations, just, hey, let me help you out. You guys are busy, build your Discord, moderate it, put in the bots, do the whole shebang, go above and beyond and really make it a good one. And they were blown away. After you kind of go through each of these steps, you'll find opportunities like that where if you can get in early, you're gonna get in front of people that really matter. You're gonna have the opportunity to show a lot of loyalty, and your work is visible, right? If Shade's been around 2-3 years and then I come in, this opportunity isn't there, and that Carter and all the big guys are so already busy and deep in the weeds that they're not gonna see your work, Right back then, I actually got to interview to build the Discord with Carter and their head of marketing at the time, and that got me FaceTime with them, right, on a video. So these are just good, like kind of sneaky ways to get good networking, right? You got FaceTime with the head of this DeFi protocol. That doesn't happen often, but if you kind of take each step by step like this, it does present those opportunities. So Pope, am I doing okay here? Do you want me to slow down, go answer any questions or anything?
No, you are doing great, sir. Love the way you begin. Please go on.
Sounds good. So now we're talking about that's how networking started, right? That's kind of all the backdoor networking, things that you guys can do relatively quickly, right? Nobody's going to hold you back from that. You can go do any of those steps on your own. Now we're kind of past that, and this is where you'll see some kind of growth, right? Looking at opportunities like this, where okay, here's an opportunity with Shade, here's one with Stash NFT Marketplace. A constant theme is getting in early, right? Providing really early, great value very early. So Stash is launched. They need alpha testers. That was their first request. I was one of the first people to reply, got alpha tested, spent a whole weekend really, really finding some bugs and reporting them very well so that my report stood out, right? Um, you'll see like that again, that opportunity doesn't come around often. You have to get in early, but that got me a lot of exposure to the team. It helped me build a reputation and get involved in the community early. So this space is full of opportunities like that. Um, there's always new applications popping up. And if you think of putting yourself in that founder's shoes, so let's say the CEO of Stash, it's just launched, they need alpha testers. How nervous are you if you can't find alpha testers, or if nobody wants to join, or if all the bug reports just really suck, right? um, when somebody comes around and is offering to help so much and then delivers a high quality bug report, it's extremely valuable, right? So they're going to appreciate it so much, right? No different than if you were the CEO, you'd be, looking and hoping for the same result as well. The last example I'll give you guys is expanding into another client, which was Bushi, right? They're a video game built on Secret Network. They've expanded now, but at the time they were just Secret Network, and they were, again, very, very early. They needed a Discord, so like Shade, hey, here's what I've built with Shade. Look at their Discord. Would you like something similar? And I actually built out an entire proposal of how I would cater it to their Bushi video game and how it would help them grow, right? So it's always going that extra mile. Like, hey, it's not just here's Shades. I built this. Do you want it? It's now let me spend the extra day or two building an entire proposal that will show you what we're going to do with yours that's different, how it's going to bring you the value that you need. So Bushi obviously needs people to play their video game. Nothing's more valuable than that. So let me show you how building your Discord, how we're going to structure it, how we're going to gamify it so that people are active here and then play the game. This was a really fun one. So again, the perks of getting involved in these communities and networking this way is that you're going to get involved. You get to choose. You know, I've been playing video games since I was a little kid, so this was a fun one that I wanted to get involved in, and just staying alert and staying alive and helpful in these ecosystems. You'll find these opportunities that you really resonate with. All right, so now we've expanded like to a couple clients, right? All of these were working for free for 8 months. Then I found the onboarding position with Whispernode, which was a part-time pay, low hours, just got my foot in the door, but it helped get me my first gig. And then working with everybody else, that turned into future bigger positions. But again, worked for free for a while, showed them what we could deliver, and then turned that into an opportunity to work with the team as a paying client. Secret University became one of those as well. These guys were doing something very big, and they were kind of they had built a product where you could learn Rust or how to build private applications on Secret Network. for a layer one, that's the number one thing you need is builders coming on board, right? What they didn't have was a funnel to find those devs, onboard them, and then get them into secret and building product. So at the time when I saw this, I had just been in the ecosystem for maybe a year and a half, and seeing that lead generation is needed by everybody. Okay, well, secret needs devs, so they need leads coming on, but those devs need a way to learn how to build private dApps, and Secret University filled that hole. So I offered Secret University, said, hey, I'm presenting privacy to universities, like we see here in the upper left. That's University of Minnesota. At this time, they had about a dozen or 15 students attend our presentation. And the idea was, this is their Web3 blockchain group. These kids are already interested in it. We're going to show you why privacy is important, why it's needed in blockchain. And then if you're interested, here's a free resource for you to learn how to build a private application. Building that sales funnel, I think it brought in 190 developers into Secret University who were then learning and then able to go on and build on Secret Network. This was a really big one and a really fun one. But this was getting involved at a whole new level. And you can see you can take it this way because, I was doing this full time and willing to put in the hours to get something this big going. But at any point in this, you guys are able to build it as far as you like, right? Just get involved and start taking classes yourself, right? That's one way to get involved, or network as far as I have and start providing lead gen and cold calling to each of these companies, right? Or each of these applications. So I hope that gives you guys like a behind the scenes. We'll cover a few other topics that we had on our agenda, but that was really the first half of how did I do it? How can you guys do it or walk a very similar path? And the key takeaways that are going to help you guys the most as you're finding how do I network well and how do I get involved is join ambassador programs for anyone that speaks to you, right? Archway is another Cosmos project that is launched. They're spinning up an ambassador program because they saw how valuable it was at Secret Network. And whichever one is the one that you want to be a part of, and if not, maybe you can build it. But show up to community calls every week. Be reliable. That's the biggest one in this space where it's digital, virtual. The biggest thing that you need to prove is that, hey, I am reliable and I show up every time, on time, all the time, right? And we don't go to offices anymore, right? When you go in an office, it's easy to see when somebody's not sitting in their cube, right? So you need to kind of take that mentality and show your ambassador program or your teams that you're that reliable. When you do that, you end up building trust, providing value, and a lot of that can be done by working for free. So don't ever write something off just because there isn't an open position. If you can do some work for free and you're able to carry it forward, you're not going to put yourself in a financial hole or anything, then that's a great way to speed up the timeline, showing people your level of work. Like I said before, check your forums, check the on-chain proposals for open positions, get to know the team members. Like I said, by doing that, I got to know Whispernode and some of the other guys that really opened up a lot of doors for me. Go to in-person events, as many as you can, meet the team and offer to help, right? Work that booth. And I'm not just going to work the booth for you. I'm going to be there. I already know all the applications, so I can speak well about them, and I'm going to generate leads for you. So while I was at those booths, I would keep a Google form and I would fill out anybody that was interested in building on Secret Network. Now I'm walking away with that event with some leads that I can go back to the team and say, hey, great meeting you in Austin, Texas. Here are the 12 leads that are interested in building on Secret Network. Provide real value, solve a need so that they'll ask you for an interview, right? And in this case, I was able to see Whispernode had an open position, but a lot of guys that I've seen in this space, they just provide really great value. And so these guys are just approached saying, hey, will you be our dev relations or any position that they need filled? Get results, show up, and get in early. If you see a consistent theme across any of these clients that my team has helped, we got in early and we showed a lot of loyalty, and you know, that gets you FaceTime with the whole team. And now you can see here, I put a little picture of my website. I think I've got it pulled up. We can take a look at that. But this is new. Like this, it didn't start off this way. You know, it wasn't this official. It was just showing up to the weekly calls and everything. And now that it's been 3 years, I put together an actual official website and whole flow. Let me pull up our chat, just make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, Secret Skrilla. All right. Skrilla's the guy that opened a bunch of doors for me. That guy's the man. I'm sure everybody here knows him. Yeah, anybody, throw questions in the chat. I'll keep cruising along here through resume tips and examples, but please throw any questions on any section here. So the biggest takeaway that I want you guys to have from resume tips and examples is document everything that you do. This was my really terrible, poor version of keeping my documentations of what I had done. I think anybody that's involved in the space now knows you just end up doing a ton of tasks for different people in different ways, and it's a lot of work. So it may feel like you're taking time away that you could be using for work, because now I got to keep notes on what I've accomplished, but that will come back and help you tremendously when you're shooting for a certain position. Like there was a larger secret position back in the day that I thought I'd be a good fit for, and that was a very much more formal process. All the previous work had kind of been what I had covered with you previously. You can show up regularly, you can speak with the person directly, and hey, you know, you've got an interview with Carter and you're going to build their shade Discord. But if you're looking for anything more than that, a resume really does help out. And if you look back, you know, on the year and say, oh my gosh, I've done a million things, I can't even remember them, then you're not going to know what to fill your resume with. And make sure the notes are very precise, right? Like I brought in 12 leads from working the booth at Secret Decentral Austin, right? Those are the kind of results that are quickly, the person interviewing you can see the direct value to them and why you're good at it and why you're important for that position. So mine was just a simple Google Sheet. Do it however you can, but definitely get it down on paper. Resume tips and examples. We'll extend this into LinkedIn. This is going to be formal. So let's say you guys have done all of that and you want to keep getting bigger. You want to keep growing. You want to keep getting involved in networking even farther. LinkedIn is going to be a big resource because this is you know, the most official platform there is for connecting with people. So I find that it's not used as much in the space until you've reached a certain level and you're trying to talk with a certain crowd or certain type of person. But you can see I then took everything that I wrote down, and this is my latest one. Probably needs to be updated. Let me go back here. So, but you can see it has direct results of what was achieved. And absolutely, anytime you can show your face, that's always going to give more trust. So I choose to put my my PFP as myself, and then I have my banner as all my digital stuff. That way it's a cohesive, people know this is what they see on Discord and on Twitter. Okay, this is the same person. Here's the results they got. So if you're going as far as LinkedIn, make sure to have a similar layout, easy to read, actionable results that you've achieved, as well as a face. If you can do it, put your own face, and then make sure that they know this is the same person that they've been talking to in Twitter and Discord and everywhere else. So here's one tip further. This one is a new one for me. I wanted to throw it on here because a client recently asked me for this. So this is a portfolio. I took a video of the portfolio slides. It's almost like what you put on your LinkedIn, what you put on your website, but in a slide deck that you can share with people. So then this way, if anyone goes, hey, who are you? What have you done? Show me the results. You can always send them to your LinkedIn or Twitter, but if you want something that's a little more, send me a slide deck, right? If it's a super professional or high-end client or a person you want to impress while you're networking, this can be a good way to do it. Like you can see though, keep it the same as everything else that you've seen. This doesn't look any different than my website or my Twitter or my LinkedIn, right? It's going to have the same info, just broken down into very simple visual kind of ways. Don't ever go word heavy on anything, and make it easy to see what value you're providing, and then who you've done it for in the past. Thanks, Skrilla. I've been busy since we've been together. All right, this one's a little word heavy. As I just mentioned, don't go word heavy, but I didn't want to give you guys a million slides on this. So, interview process and questions. This is our next section. And you guys, let's say you've done everything that we've covered. Now somebody's asking you, hey, we would like to interview for this position. All right, now it gets a little more formal, right? It's still going to be a virtual session like this. So again, always have your camera on. Skrilla does a great job with this. Anybody that is trying to network, represent a community, do sales like I am, visuals are always better. So keep your camera on. Know the DAP team, know the team, the DAP's history, future, the ecosystem better than anyone, right? If you can show that you've been in the space, you've taken the time to understand who's on the team, where they've come from, where they are, where they're going, and maybe the ecosystem and where can we go get some value. You could do that and you don't even have the position yet. You're going to impress who you're working with and have a better chance at getting that position, or at least having a very good interview. Have a game plan that's simple and it shows value to them. This is the biggest one that I see lacks in a lot of this space. Treat this like it's a regular, not crypto interview, right? The things that people value in interviews are, does this guy know what he's talking about? And does he have a game plan that clearly conveys the value that this position needs to achieve? Or is he just coming in and talking about how good he is, right? Show value, be prepared, and then show value more than what's just being asked in that interview. You'll be asked if you're the top community member. So here's a quick like fast track. Go be the top community member. The reason that we were able to start working with Stash Marketplace was because I was #1 on their leaderboard for the first 4 months that it came out, right? I used their platform. I gave feedback. I was their top community member. So they always saw me. That's a quick way for you to get noticed and for you to get into the interview. You can ask those above, like Whispernote and Skrilla. Those guys have been in secret way longer than myself. And after I had shown that I was reliable, I asked those guys for any open positions. It's important to remember, at least what I've seen, these interviews feel casual, right? They are virtual, and people in this space are friendly. It doesn't feel as like you're wearing a suit going into an office and you're, the CFO is gonna grill you in your interview. It doesn't feel like that, but treat it as if it is, right? If you can look professional, your background's professional, your clothes look good, you speak well, you're treating it as if it is an in-person interview. That's going to go a far way, because in this space, it's still so young that a lot of people don't do that, and you'll really set yourself apart if you do that. Yep, like we said before, show how you provide value to them. That's one of the biggest. A lot of people say why they're a good fit for the position. Don't cater to just that. Show how you're going to provide value to them. That's what these positions are really being filled for. Show them how you've done that in the past, and then always leave with definitive next steps and a date, right? So don't just end the interview, and if you walk away from that interview and say, that felt like that went well, it probably didn't. You need to walk away going, oh, okay, he needs me to build a deeper proposal. I'm going to build that proposal, give it to him tomorrow, and he's going to get back to me on Thursday if we're ready for next steps or not. If I don't hear back from him on Thursday, he's okay with me contacting him Friday, right? have those really set out. One, because it's going to give you guys, the peace of mind that okay, if I haven't heard from him Thursday and he's not getting back from me from Friday, all right, I probably don't have the position. But it's also going to hold them accountable to meeting the needs that you need to try to land the position. All right, we only got a couple more left, so thanks for hanging in here, guys. And I know we're at 40 minutes. All right, so we'll breeze through these last few ones. These are some really practical guidance to networking. They're going to be the nitty gritty, the stupid stuff that nobody tells you that is going to help you network really well. So, okay, anybody that hasn't been in sales before, these all sound really dumb and easy, but you'll find they need a lot of practice. So don't ever sell, right? Don't be there shoving something down somebody's throat. Don't sell. You're trying to help them solve the need that they have. Actually care about them. This is a tough one because most of the time people don't treat each other this way. But if you actually care about what that person's problem is and actually try to help them, that'll get you a much better connection and network with that person, because that's how we're wired, right? Give value. You'll see that's consistent through every theme. Don't just give, don't just do. The value's already got to be there, especially when you're meeting somebody new. Don't, hi, how's it going? Can we have coffee? Can we just wanted to see how you're doing, right? None of that works, right? Nobody has time for that. But if you can say, I saw that your newsletter just came out. I have written a guest blog post for you. Here it is. Can we do a cross promotional? Can we discuss cross promotional? Are you interested? Right? Question mark. You've already done the value. They can already see it. They can already say, yep, this looks good. Sure. They're going to answer yes or no. That's what you're looking for. And a good example of that is this tweet here. This is actually from my personal one. So Inventive Bright randomly followed me. One of the best actionable steps I can share with you guys is every person that follows, I DM them saying, thanks for the follow, Inventive Bright. Is there a free lead list that I can provide you to help your business? That's short, sweet. It already shows the value. It's not a paragraph that they have to read. Yeah, this is how some good networking has started in the past for me. Cool. And Pope, sorry, I wasn't sure if that was you trying to speak or not, but I see your notes here. So one of the biggest tips I can tell you is anybody that follows you, take the time to actually look into their page, see what they do, and then offer something of value to them. If you can do it for free, great. Find a way to do that. As long as it's quick and you can do it fast. Like a lead list for me, I have more lead lists than I can count. So it's very easy for me to provide one quickly. So they're saying thanks for the follow. That's why he knows you're reaching out to them. And if you ever, if you look at your DMs, right, you only get like the first 4 words. So when you see thanks for the follow, it's a very different approach. They're more willing to open that up. They say, oh yeah, I did follow this guy. And then you're offering something for free, and it's not a long paragraph. Please don't ever do long paragraphs. Join in Telegram. There's a lot of biz dev and networking groups that you can join. Here are 2 of the biz devs, the groups that I'm in. And they have hundreds of people in there where this is just like an easy networking group, right? If you need a connection or somebody out of place, try to find groups like this. They're very helpful. You probably won't find groups like this until you've reached a certain status or level, right? People have asked you to join these groups, but it will help out tremendously once you are there to then take the time, join these groups, be active in them daily so that people know who you are, help other people in there so that when you need to ask for help, people will help back. That's just daily activity stuff that will really help once you're at that level. On the right side here, this is actually a screenshot of my Telegram way back in the day. As you guys know, Telegram gets out of control, but breaking things down by folders will save your life. You will be able to see exactly who's been contacting you and make sure that you get back to them same day or within 24 hours. this is an easy networking one that just shows, hey, you're reliable, you're on top of your stuff. And the only way to really be on top of your stuff is to be organized. So be organized by breaking down your Telegram into folders. That way you can get back to people really quickly and you know what you're working with them on. So here's secret dApps, right? This was all my communication with any dApp I was building on secret. So I know if I'm popping in here, I'm helping those guys and I respond within 24 hours. And actually, this is a fun one. This one just came last week. A newsletter that I signed up to said they had put in there that they just started their podcast. A guy that has a very similar business to me, and I've been following and learning a lot from him, but he's never had a podcast. So, like we mentioned before, know everything about the company before because you've been a fan. Know where they're at currently, like, hey, this podcast is brand new, and he's asking for guests of people that also run an agency. So I emailed him back saying, I'd love to be one of your first guests. That he needs that value right now. He needs guests coming on board. So taking an opportunity like that only helps you network more. Now you're going to get in with his network. Hopefully you can do the podcast. But either way, you have a line of communication with him for maybe something in the future as well. This is my very last slide. Thank you guys for hanging in there. Really get involved, show up daily with value. If you scan this QR code, it takes you to Secret's link tree, and that provides you all of the opportunities that Secret has to get involved, like joining a dev workshop, minting a free Secret NFT, downloading the Fina mobile wallet, or even joining the agency ambassador program. So if any of this has fired you guys up to do any of that, right, this is a good way to get in early and start it. Get involved in those communities that you relate to, and yeah, it's been a fun 3 years for me. So please shoot me a DM on Twitter if you guys want any help or getting more involved. I'm absolutely open and willing to help. So that's all I've got, Pope. But happy to do some Q&A.
Absolutely amazing, Mitch. You really smashed it, and I love the way you displayed I think presented and the way you took it from the beginner level, and you also simplified it. That was awesome. So yeah, thanks so much for this section. So guys, over to you. So if you do have any questions for Mitch, please do request to speak or drop your message in the Telegram chat. Okay, let's wait for 2 to 3 minutes if anyone has any message for Melch. Also, feel free to DM Melch or DM if you don't want to post it public.
Yeah, good summary, peace of mind. I appreciate that last message in there. It's a good summary of how to do it all well.
So, guys, make sure you drop your questions in the Telegram chats or request to speak. Okay, Mitch, someone is asking if it's possible to get your slide.
Oh, sorry, my audio cut out there. What was the question?
Someone is asking if it's possible to get your slide presentation.
Oh yeah, should I drop it? Yeah, actually, I'll find a way. I'll make a copy of it and then drop it in this group. Is that the best place to put it?
Yeah, no, that's no worries. Yeah, Mitch, can you hear me? Someone is asking, okay, you say as a beginner, how do I approach Web3 projects? How do I join this ambassador program and become much more valuable to them? How do I offer value if I'm a beginner in this space?
Yeah, if you're the beginner, that's always the hardest step, right? I the ways that I found were the easiest were to find any way to get involved, which a lot of them were ambassador programs. That will open the door, and you'll see in those ambassador programs, there's always work to say yes to, right? Like, hey, we need people at events, or we need people to create social media content like Anubis did yesterday, or um, somebody to research influencers, right? There's always going to be little tasks like that that are more just, they need hands and time. So if you've got hands and time, you can take those on. And the more you take on, the more that you get involved, the more that you start returning that work with like a high level of quality, you're going to get noticed very, very quickly. And then you're going to establish friendships with the people that you're then working these on. And that's how you're going to just really ignite your network. So really ambassador programs, take on work, and then if you can also get to events, but find the work that you're willing to take on. For mine, it was pretty broad. Generating leads and doing sales can be applied to everybody. So it was really easy for me to do that for every DAP or every client. If that's not your cup of tea as a beginner, maybe you're really good at making social media videos. So find all the ambassador opportunities where you can make videos for these communities.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, here is another question. So the person is asking, when you are new to a project and you want to contribute, which one do you think should be a priority, consistency or building relationship?
Which one should be a priority? Sorry, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, yeah. Which should be the priority, being consistent or building relationships?
Mm, that's a good one. I think they go hand in hand. I think if you're consistent, that the relationship comes with it. But you can't really build a relationship without being consistent, right? What I notice is people don't, if they don't want to build a relationship with somebody that isn't consistent, right? So they're not just going to keep giving you their time to talk to you when you're not also bringing the consistent value. So whenever I brought consistent value, those people would keep talking, but it never goes around the other way. So I would prioritize being consistent.
What was that? That's really deep. Yeah, thank you for that. Okay, I think here is another question from Peace of Mind. So he's saying, I would love to get access to your private mentorship, and he doesn't mind if we could give him as access. That is that possible?
To private mentorship, yeah, I mean, I'm open to discussing anything. I don't have anything personally set up, but I really, really do enjoy giving back. So anybody that is new to this and wants a little guidance, please, I live on Twitter, so shoot me a Twitter DM. That's probably the fastest way to get me, or shoot me one here on Telegram. But Telegram's pretty nasty, so I might miss you. So find me on Twitter and let's chat.
Okay, awesome. I believe that answers the question. Peace of mind. Okay, I think I've got one more question. Just a minute. Okay, this person is saying now, after working with project and ambassadorship deal for maybe 2 to 3 months, is it proper for me to reach out to the team and probably offer them a proposal, or how long should it take before I offer the team a proposal on what I could contribute more, or how I can bring more value to their community?
Yeah, it's a great question because that's the whole game, right? How long does it take? What kind of value are you giving? I think that it's much more of an art that you'll have to feel out. Like, I got lucky because when I joined the ambassador program, that was right before in the start of the bull market. So there was a lot going on. There was a lot of funding available. There's a lot of people to work with. Things are a little bit different now. So there's less people to work with. So that could be an advantage to you, right? You're one of the few people still putting in valuable work. Well, nobody else is. So you're going to get noticed. But maybe it's hard to find funding. And so the awareness committee doesn't exist or can't hire other people. So feel it out, find your community, and in 2 to 3 months is usually when you can get a good sense of, are all the other puzzle pieces in place? Like, is the funding there? Do people appreciate my work? How, do people think I have a valuable and reliable brand? If all that's in place and you can see some opportunities, then I would go and ask. but it's one of those things. You'll have to feel it out.
Awesome. That's good. Okay, here is another question. So this person said he has been reaching out to several projects for the past few months and he's been trying to get a job. He has got to call market cap to see new projects. Also, he has did several deals, but he never got to apply for many of these projects. So he's asking, so what is he doing wrong and how can he make it better?
I would say I'd be curious. Is it do you have any history as is the first thing that comes to mind? Like reaching out to projects is hard right now because mm, bear market makes funding very low. So it's not these guys don't have a lot of funds to be hiring a lot of people. They've got to be a lot more selective. So if you can come in and show a history of, hey, these three projects, I built their ambassador program for them, which grew their social media Twitter following 500%. That's an exact win, exact value. Now you just have to see, is that something that they want to put money towards, right? Maybe they don't. Maybe all their money is going to go to developers. Well, do you have a history of finding developer leads and closing 10% of them so that you can show, hey, my last client, I got them 10 new devs in 2 months. I'd like to do the same for you. Well, good. They're putting money behind there. Now you're likely to get hired. So it's kind of a two-step combination. Have a little bit of history that you can show that you've gotten results and make sure it's the history where they are looking to put funding towards, right? And in a bear market like this, funding is always a big card. It's, they're only going to put funding only where they need it.
This person can hear you loud and clear, and this is, one of the best advice I will also give to that person. Yeah, thanks so much, Mitch. I think I have like two or three more questions. Guys, please drop your questions there so you don't have to send it to my DM. Okay, so here's another question. So he said this is from okay, let me not mention the name, he sent it to my DM. So he said one of the approach he has been using for project is by writing the thread on project. He said he has written thread on several projects, but some of these projects they like giving kudos for the thread, but after that nothing more. So he was asking, is there another approach you could use to get into this ecosystem aside from writing these Twitter threads?
I don't know. It's not something I'm too familiar with. And correct me if I'm wrong, Pope, but it sounds like based on the question, it was um, that you had an initial discussion with them, but now they're not getting back. Is that a correct assessment?
Writing threads for several projects, but the only thing they do is to like and then give him kudos for writing the thread, but nothing else comes from it. And he's trying to build relationship with some of these projects. So he's asking, what else can he do to build much more better relationship with these projects aside from writing Twitter threads for several projects?
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's a little bit of a sticky situation. At least what I've seen in the past is it usually unfolds one of two ways. You you can show loyalty and keep being there and look for new opportunities. Like you really have to get good at seeing what are the people, the core team, what is their biggest need, where are they putting funding to try to solve that need, can you help them solve that need, right? Maybe the current work that you're doing now is just not as important anymore as it used to be 6 or 12 months ago. So if it's not important anymore, you need to now show how their biggest priority or their top two, you can help solve that problem and bring value there. That will then deepen your relationship with them. But it could also just be take a step back from the whole project. Take a look at, maybe this project, there isn't room for the relationship now. Maybe the whole project is kind of trending down. And so it's not a thing where if you show loyalty and keep providing value to their top priorities, that a relationship will deepen over time because maybe the whole thing is just kind of phasing out. So be careful of that. There are a lot of projects that just don't survive these kind of conditions, and you don't want to be constantly trying to find value or give value when it's just not going to pay off in the long term. So check both one of those two, but it sounds very similar to that.
That's good. Okay, I believe that answers the question. Okay, I think this should be the last question. Okay, just a minute. Okay. Hold on. This person is asking, can you give us tips on how to figure out what's missing in a project? Okay, what position can you fill? So, is there any tips for you to be able to do this research and know more about this project and also figure out where we should come in?
So like tips on how to find value and where to come in.
The question is twisted.
Sorry, Bob, it's a little loud where you're at. So I'm just making sure I heard the question correctly.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries. If that is the question, it's hard to say. There isn't like an exact place where you can go and look to find these. Where probably in the beginning of my presentation, I had mentioned forum posts, right? Like go to that community's forum posts, and you're going to see what all the big wigs are doing and what they want to do, and you'll find some opportunities there. Governance proposals, that's obviously where ones that went from the forum that are now getting voted on by the community. So you can see a lot there, and you can also vote yourself. Those are probably like two direct ways, but you'll find most ambassador programs, or get inside the communities, like just being in the Discord. If you show up there regularly, and not just to make an appearance regularly, but to go through the Discord and look for what are people talking about? What have they been talking about for the last 4 weeks? Oh, people seem to be saying we need devs, we need devs. Okay, if I can bring devs, is that valuable? And is this an opportunity that I can bring some value, right? So getting involved regularly, you'll start seeing the landscape, and then you'll be able to see where those opportunities start to rise from.
Awesome. Okay, I hope that answers the question. Okay, I think this is coming. Okay, I think I have another question. This is coming from someone I know. So this guy is asking, okay, I've built my portfolio to some certain stage in the industry, and I've worked with some projects, and some of these projects are not willing to pay, though the project has a value, but due to the pay market, they are not willing to pay. How long do you think I should stick with such projects, or can I just leave the project and find any other better opportunity? I don't know if he gets the question, Melch.
I think so. It sounds like you've got a good relationship with them. You've been working with them, but maybe now the landscape has changed, and so they're not able to pay. And then how long do you stick with them? Is that correct?
Yeah, but I think he's saying he has never been paid.
Oh, yeah, that's common, unfortunately. And I've been there too. Don't worry. I know like Olarks. I freaking love Olarks. I've worked with them for so long on a number of projects. Him and I have been in this situation before, right? Like not every client is in a position, even if you bring value, even if you show up every day and you're consistent, and even if you make a good relationship with these guys, it's still a business at the end of the day. So it's very important as you guys go through this journey, make sure you build a good relationship with them so that you can be open about the business. For example, hey, I would love to build your Discord. Here's the Discords that I've built in the past for Shade Protocol and Bushi. Here's the results that it achieved for them. Can I do the same for you? Once you get in there, then you say, okay, look, I love to do this, and you do it. But then you say, is there a chance in the future that that you can join the team in the future? Don't do that off the bat, right? If you do that on your first communication or before you've even built the Discord, you're gonna scare them away. But once you have that relationship, it's then important for you to stay up to date on, okay, are these guys, are they gonna have future positions available, and can they communicate that with me, right? If you're not ever on that same page with them, then there's a good chance that you're just going to not get paid and that they won't have a paid position in the future. So you need to get to a point where you're comfortable having that kind of conversation with them.
I think this should be one of the best advice. I think that's all the DM for now. I don't think I have any other DM. Please, if I have missed your DM, please drop the message in the message chat or request to speak.
Yeah, and Pope, if any
Also,
questions come up after this, tag me in them, and I'll keep popping in here to answer them.
all right, that will be awesome. I don't think I have any other DM, and if I might have missed your question, please drop the question in the Telegram chat or just request to speak.
Yeah, I hope this was helpful. I'll definitely get some notes from you, Pope, and Olarks as well to see how it all went. But I hope this was helpful for all of you guys, and just giving you insights on, what the journey looks like, and at least what it took for one guy to stay alive and to grow in the space for 3 years. Yeah, happy to help. If like I said, shoot me a DM on Twitter, and happy to keep helping you guys along your path.
So much, Melch. It's been awesome having you now, and the reflection was really amazing. I believe you've shared lots of values to each and every participant here, and I believe with what you shared, they should be able to build a much more better portfolio and know how to navigate themselves within the Web3 ecosystem. What I think there's no any other questions. I guess we could officially end tonight's section. So I don't know if there's any other word you or advice you'd love to give to participants, Melch, for end tonight's section.
I'll give one last note that's been sticking with me lately, at least the last few weeks. Um, Anybody that's here right now, you guys are already tough. You guys are in these conditions. You're already here. You're still looking. You're still grinding. Don't be afraid of sales. As weird as that sounds, because even if you don't go full sales agency like I have, you still have to sell yourself. You have to sell that you're good to be their social media video editor or whatever you're going for. So I find in this space that will help you tremendously. Learn a little bit of sales skills. Get good at selling yourself. Put in that extra effort, and you guys are gonna find your place in here. So best of luck to all you guys. Pope, awesome job organizing all of this, and big thanks to Olarks for coordinating and getting me on board.
So much, Melch, for joining us. It's really good. Okay, guys, I believe this will be the end of the section. Thanks to everyone who joined us tonight. And